Hey everybody, I'm Mike,
And I'm Tim.
and this is the Board Game Rundown. Welcome to Whiskey Wednesday. Woo woo. January 8th edition, our second Whiskey Wednesday of 2025. Welcome everybody.
Yes, very happy to be here. Sorry I missed last week. I had made arrangements to watch the Notre Dame game, which then was unfortunately postponed because of people that are just turds. But I had already made plans and had people over because we were watching the other bowl games. So it felt kind of hard to be like, hey guys, get the hell out of here so I can go do a live stream. Um,
Yeah.
so I appreciate you and Bob carrying on. I did jump in on the chat a little bit and say hey. So I was kind of like watching and listening during commercials and when I wasn't being social.
Yeah, understandable. Nobody can predict what happened in Louisville,
New
New Orleans.
Orleans.
And yeah, I mean, no reason to cancel plans or anything like that. And then, of course, this week we're at two once again because Senior Hooper unfortunately came down with some shiz. He told us early this morning, we're like, dude, just get some rest. It's all good, man. Get some rest, take some meds, and get better for next week.
Yeah, don't sweat it, man. Don't stay up too late. And yeah, we're here. Yeah, Bob is down with the sickness. What up, Wayne? Good to see you, buddy. And then yeah,
Hi, Jazz.
and then Jazz. Oh, well, you're a terrible person. How dare you get our Bob
Wow.
sick like that?
Yeah, definitely very low character, and obviously. I know we're in person, so I'm able to say those things. And
Yeah,
she
that's
knows.
true. That's true.
Um,
What I
Tim,
like
what are you
about you,
drinking
Mike.
over there?
Oh,
Are you still drinking Old Tub?
Well, I'm actually because I got to get blood work done tomorrow morning. I'm just hydrating, so I'm drinking
Uh,
some. I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, and I get blood drawn. So I'm
yeah.
drinking a concoction from my Ninja Thirsty, which is just like a watermelon, lime, strawberry, kiwi, carbonated soda kind of thing.
There you go.
It's
You
all
said
hydration stuff.
you're Ninja Thirsty. For some reason, I thought you were going to say Ninja Turtle because of the color of that thing.
Dude.
It looked like a headband around the top there. Like,
Seriously.
what's his name?
Well, this is Leonardo, apparently.
Oh, there you go. Hey, Di, thanks for joining us. Um,
I know,
yeah,
Chris.
yeah. No Bob and a sober Tim. So Chris says it's going to be the
Boring.
worst episode ever.
Boring.
Very true. I'm actually drinking a mixed drink. We don't have a rule that we have to drink them on the rocks, even though 99% of the time we do. But I decided to actually mix up some zero sugar wild cherry Pepsi with some screwball.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
this is a pretty solid mixture, so mixed
So is
drink
that
for me tonight.
a peanut butter cherry Pepsi?
Yes, it's
Wild.
it's solid.
I'd kind of try that because I don't like Pepsi, but I really like cherry Pepsi. And obviously, Screwball's good. And it's
You
hard
know
to think of
what's
something that's not
funny?
good in.
So I got blood work yesterday because I'm trying to watch my sugar levels, and I do a lot of diet and zero sugar drinks. I like Diet Pepsi better than Diet Coke. I think Diet Pepsi is very, very good, although Coke Zero kind of wins.
I do like
Coke,
Coke Zero. I've been drinking Coke Zero.
yeah, Coke Zero is good.
It's I'm kind of giving it up. Like not giving it up, but like fine, I'll drink Coke Zero.
Yeah,
I'm drinking these. These things. These things are really tasty, and they some of them have like you can get them with like energy, and there's like one they call Dr. Thirsty. It tastes like Dr. Pepper, but it's like a Dr. Pepper Zero.
yeah.
So zero sugar. I still get my caffeine. That's
There
fine.
you go.
Tastes good.
We're getting old. We're talking about Diet Pops.
Good Lord, man. Good Lord. We
What's
should be
up,
talking.
Andrew? He's not old, so he doesn't have to worry about it yet.
No doubt. It's coming for you. It's
Uh,
coming for
You're
you.
not wrong about that, Bob.
Yeah.
Tim's brother-in-law loves that stuff, and I don't blame him.
Yeah, but if you go to his house, do not drink his. Bring your own because he has a hard
Oh,
time finding it. Pro tip.
I also got to say, Diet Dr. Pepper is excellent as well. That one's very good. I don't know what it is. It's got a lot of flavor.
It's all that Dr.
So
Pepper.
there you go. There's the old people chat out of the way. Imagine being old, son of
Oh, jazz.
imagine being a millennial.
Yeah.
Oh, the imagine being from New York and calling it soda.
You know what though? I do call it soda. I call it soda all the time.
Weirdos, man. It's pop.
I know.
At least you don't call it Coke, and then I'd know you're from Tennessee.
You're right. Yeah, you got Coke. Can I get a Coke? And it's not just Coke. It's Coke. You
That's
gotta,
Coke.
yeah. You
It's
gotta
either a
draw.
Coke or a sweet tea.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Sweet tea.
Uh, um, we're gonna do a little bit of channel news before we actually jump into this thing, but we do have a topic, of course. We had to call an audible. So one of the channel news is that our top 50, whoop, whoop, it's live. So you can go on over and watch a studio episode of our top 50 that came out yesterday. Um, so if you want to hear about our all-time favorite games, number 50 through 41 is out. So our goal today was to start the top 50 after 50, include Bob, and then do 100 through 91. But Bob has some shiz. He's down with the shizness.
I think
Uh,
Bob just didn't have it ready, and so he's like calling in sick because he didn't have the homework done. I'm just kidding. I know
he's
we
still
all.
re-ranking.
Yeah, he's re-ranking them. He's moving them around. Because here's the problem, Mike, is that he had games that he has played that aren't out yet that are on it, so he has to then go and
Oh,
change them.
I had to wait for them to ship.
Yeah, yeah. Then his list is valid.
The truth comes out. Oh, that's good. But no, there was obviously no way we are going to start our top 100 without Bob. So we called an audible and we switched it to our favorite 5 games that also have bad components.
Mm-hmm.
Should be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Should
and
be
I think the key to this is that these are games that we actually like and want to play,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So because I mean, we could just do like, I don't want to just do like an all negative, skews negative list, you know. And to be fair to some of these games, they may not care, you know, like the production value may not have been a something that was on their radar at the time of the game being made.
sure.
Um,
Yeah, we'll get into a criteria and maybe a little summary of the list later, but just to kind of touch on the topic. So big news we're talking about. Stonemeyer made an announcement that made a lot of waves today,
oh, I see
and
what you did there.
many people might be many people might be shocked to see that Bob is no longer the only box art model.
Yeah,
Tim is now a box art
I'm
model.
just
Tim's
saying.
fan has been announced.
I've never looked sexier. Just saying. Just saying. I saw this today. Mike, so I think, like, give everybody a little inside baseball. Mike doesn't tell me when he does these things. Every once in a while, he'll be like, hey Tim, have you checked Facebook yet? Be like, oh shit, why? But that's like as close to a warning as I ever get. And that's only if I go more than like 2 or 3 hours without having seen it. Like, and then he's got to make sure that I've kind of seen it. Oh, trust me, Bob. Kelly wants nothing to do with this. She does not want this in her house. She does not want to see it. I guarantee you, if she has ordered copies, it has been only to burn them. That's my wife, by the way.
Yeah,
Not
got a
Bob, but
few that
Kelly.
are all in. Jim Cole's waiting for Bob's span.
Yeah. Bob Span is for the OnlyFans. That's the OnlyFans edition.
Oh man, that was just low hanging fruit. Is what that was. I couldn't help myself.
Well, you know, I do feel kind of bad because so our thing here, I'm gonna say this is like good natured jibes between friends, right? I mean, that's it. Or Mike's like, no, I'm trying to destroy you emotionally. No, no, just kidding. Um, but in all seriousness, though, right? Like, there's tons of Facebook groups there. Then they did it when Wormspan came out. You know, they just pick
Yeah.
rando thing span and then they just put it out there. And I feel like some of it is more mean spirited and than this is
Yeah.
specifically.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a bummer. Now, Mike, I love this and I think this is great because again, this is a perpetuation of an inside joke with us and our viewers and our friends and everything. But the people that just put like cow span and chicken span, you know, whatever, it's like don't play it. If you don't want to buy it, don't buy it. Don't play it.
Yeah.
Like
And the joke has kind of ran into the ground and some people got annoyed by it. And I get it. It is a bit of a tired joke, but
well, this
it is
was a
what it is.
very fresh, funny version of the joke.
That's right. It was a very fresh version of a tired joke.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, all the haters come out and it's like, okay, like you haven't even played the game. If you go to play it and you're like, this game sucks and I don't like it, well then go ahead and make fun of it all you want. But until then, like if they are going to keep coming up with creative ways to implement sort of a scaffold of rules, you know, and retheme it and make it interesting for people that are into those things. I know people that hate birds, but they might check out that, you know, that fish one.
Yeah.
So
It looks actually way different than the first two versions.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
looks
And
way different. Honestly, this theme interests me more than the other two as well. I'll be honest.
I guess Wormspan is more interesting to me just because of the
Sure.
dragons thing.
Yeah.
But I agree though that there's that potential, right? Like that a subsequent version could appeal to another person more than any of the previous iterations, right? Like just
Mhm.
and you were a big Wingspan fan, right? You like Wingspan quite a
I
bit.
do. Yeah. And it's not because of the birds. I just enjoy the game and the art's cool.
Yeah, I
Um,
love the vibe and the idea of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I also really like nature themed games. I'm an
Mm-hmm.
outdoorsman when I'm not playing board games. I like to hike. I like to fish. I like to camp. And the outdoorsman goes from when I was really young, and my grandpa was showing me how to fish and giving me like books on different fish and how to catch them. And so, like seeing drawings of fish actually really interests me because I grew up reading books with
Oh,
drawings of
sure.
fish.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm actually very interested in that theme.
Yeah, so I mean, my thing is all the haters can just go to hell, you know? Like it's a game.
Yeah, you don't have to buy it. But
Show me on the meeple where Jamie hurt you. You know, come on, man. Like get over it. I mean, he's a
Yeah,
publisher. He's got games he wants to publish. He's going to publish them. Get over it.
I'm Andrew already knows I've played many games of Wingspan on BGA. I still enjoy that game.
Did you see what Wayne said here? Oh, there's two rankings on it, and 8 and a 10.
Yeah,
So,
because Bob was asking if there's any ones. A fair question.
well, yeah, because people go in nosedive, you know, rankings on any ranking site, just you know, because people are hateful and you know petty. But whatever. That's my soapbox.
Oop, now we've got more ratings to counteract the other ratings. Let's go to the comments. Um, uh, well, it started with 4 10s right out of the box.
Boom,
Oh,
boom, 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 boom.
oh man, I'm curious how many people are going to be upset that Jamie Stegmeyer rated this game a 10. There are
Hey,
some people that really don't like the designers and publishers rating their own games. They
listen,
get,
as a publisher, publish the stuff you want to play.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
He doesn't have a right.
But
He doesn't have a right to give it a rating.
you know what I mean, though, Tim. There have been some designers that have gotten flamed for rating their own games. Now, maybe the timing of those ratings was a little suspect, but But you know what I mean.
I do, but I'm also just kind of like very over it with
Yeah.
the with this kind of stuff, and that kind
Rating
of rating
before it comes out.
bombs,
Yeah.
and blah blah
Like
blah.
this. He's
It's
just doing this to spite the people that already gave it tens. That's the only reason that two's there.
And the other thing, right, is like, as far as I know, and I've only ever met him very briefly one time, but I've watched tons of videos with him in it. But Jamie is a very nice dude. Seems like he's a
He
very
is.
nice dude.
He
He's very
is.
generous with his time. I think he is one of those people that I think is really good for the hobby because he's very transparent with like
Mhm.
how he operates and everything. And I think he's really informative. So if you just want to kick a nice guy for being a nice guy, well, then I think that just tells you what kind of person you are. Um,
Yeah.
you don't have
Um,
to love every single one of his games. I mean, he's a publisher. There's going
yep.
to be some duds. It's going to happen.
Yep. Not everyone's a home run. But also extremely nice guy, very generous with his time, and did an interview on our channel with Andrew a
Oh
couple
yeah, he
years ago.
did. He did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I watched that. He was very, very exactly. Whoop. Go ahead, Tim. Very
I
nice
got
guy.
you.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy. So yeah, no issues with it. And people ate up Wormspan, so why not retheme it? And this one looks more unique than Wormspan does.
And
So
it's different designers. So I mean,
right. Yeah.
if you own sort of that IP, right, and somebody comes to you and says, "I've got an amazing idea. Here's what it is." And if you think that that idea is going to be successful and make you money and make them money, and people are going to have fun playing it, well, why the hell wouldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm actually fairly interested in this one. I don't know that I'll like rush out and buy it, but I mean, if I get the opportunity to play it, I'm in. And if I hear good things about it, maybe I will rush out and buy it. Who knows?
So, Chris, I'll say it's a little different than an author putting a quote on the dust cover. It's a little different. What if it's the author's mom? No, I'm just kidding. No, but I think you're allowed to go to BGG and rate. I don't know that I would rate a game that I designed, but if I published one, I might rate it. But if I designed one, I probably would never look at the BGG ratings or stats ever. I'm that kind of person. Like,
Fair. Yeah. I would. I want to know what people are saying. I'm always quick to look at our comments when we get them. I like the
oh,
feedback.
our comments are different. I think making a game is a different. I think
It's a
there's a.
different animal.
It's a different animal. Like I'm very comfortable in this medium. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
making a board game, or, like or publishing a book. That's next level stuff, in my opinion. And there's people that we know that would never do what we do, that design games, and they're great at it and happy to do it. They'd never want to sit in front of a camera.
Dave brings up a great point. Are you kidding me? Every time I put a description in our videos, I hit the thumb first. Starting off with a head start. I mean, I can't exactly go and like rate it, but yes, I am trying to get that algorithm to pick up our videos. So I always hit that thumb before I start putting in the timestamps.
Yeah, I'm never the first comment on our video, but if somebody comments on our video, I try really hard to respond if somebody else hasn't. And I'm usually pretty quick on the response.
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
with with just about any comment that seems like they're actually trying to engage with you and not just be, a
Yeah.
troll. There's a few that I'm like, I don't know what this comment means, and I
Yeah.
can't decide how to respond. But
And I've definitely avoided some troll comments and I've avoided some negative comments. But then there's some times where I don't agree with the comments. I'm like, all right, let's go.
well,
But
hell yeah,
you know, much like our live chat here, though, you take the time to watch our show and put a comment in the live chat. You do the same thing on our studio videos. 95% of the time, you're going to get a response from us.
yeah. Usually it's just go to hell. Just kidding.
Oh, well, that must have been a Charwood comment.
Yeah, well, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And yeah, Chris, YouTube is kind of different, I think.
Yeah. It is.
And you know what, Wayne? I have done that, and I will also put up when I have friends that are doing live streams, even if I'm not watching it, I'll turn on my iPad, I'll turn down the volume, and I'll just leave it on, like somewhere where it's not distracting. So then that way, like I do that for other shows that I watch, and so then that way they've at least got some viewers
Yeah.
and some stuff like that. And Chris, you can be contrary all you like. I'm never going to stop liking you because I just think you're a great
Yeah.
guy. So keep
Yeah.
keep at it.
All good. Um, and while we're on the topic, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I was not only the online sales manager at my job, I'm our poor man's IT guy. And every time we set up a new tablet or phone, um, I create a Gmail account and I go subscribe to the board game rundown. I've got us at least a dozen subs out of
That's how we survive the bot purge. It's because they're
Mike, go set up some more work phones.
Mike's like, oh, I guess I'll just take all these tablets and get them set up.
Oh man, what this one really needs is a master reset and a new Gmail account.
Oh yeah. And we do know Chris, but we know a lot of the people that come on here and talk with us.
Mhm.
Some of you guys just through the show, or
Yeah,
and just from your years of support. But
yeah, it's actually pretty awesome how many people that we have met in person that interact with us. It's pretty awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, and I did used to work at Verizon, so you can imagine how many free accounts I'd be able to set up with Gmail. And man, anyway, I have no desire to go back to that job
oh hell
whatsoever. I was
no.
miserable by the time I left.
Well, no, I
Uh,
mean it's sort of we've all got those jobs. Like Mike, like Bob and I. You saw in that chat thread that we had going earlier. We were talking about like Bob working in food service, making them hate domers. And I was like, when I worked in food service, it made me hate everyone.
yeah, yeah.
Like if you were to watch Waiting, the movie Waiting, I don't know how much you remember
Oh,
that.
one of my favorites, dude. Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
watched it again like 2 months ago. Love that movie.
I I I flipped back and forth between being the Justin Long character and being the really, really, really angry lady who would like be like swearing and cussing in the kitchen, and then she walks out and she's all smiles. It's like a thing changes. That was me on a Friday or Saturday night. And why I didn't work Sundays anymore was
I'm
because of people.
I'm sorry, Tim, but the only thing I can picture in my brain when you mention her is her bush.
That's fair.
Rare!
Yeah. I'll
You go
save that
kicking
for
the wind
Bob's.
out of it.
I'll save that for Bob's OnlyFans. Um, no, so Chris, that's the crazy thing is that I used to love waiting tables and bartending too, because the amazing people that I met and the relationships that I was able to build and just like people that I got to know were awesome. But there was nights, man. There were nights where I just hated everything and the world, and there were there were groups of people. uh I won't like publicly shame them, but like I would never ever, despite their attempts at leaving pamphlets, ever go and visit where they were trying to get me to go because of the way they would treat people that weren't part of their group or their clique. And it was just embarrassing. Like, come on. um oh yeah, those
Oh,
wash those. Yeah, those floor mats were rough.
I mean, I used to hate having to close, and somebody comes in at 5 till
Oh,
close,
dude, for real.
and I'm looking for a new phone. I'm sorry, but that's never a short transaction. It does not. It
No.
isn't. Especially if you don't remember your passwords, don't know how to transfer your stuff, don't know how to put the screen protector on that I talked you into buying. Like, it takes a minute. and you came in at 5 till.
So it's funny. I'll tell you this one funny story real quick, and then we can move on to our list. But like my wife and I, for example, we needed a new dryer a few months ago, and so we go into like a ABC warehouse, and we know they're going to close in like 30 minutes, but we were still like in the shopping phase. We didn't like it wasn't like we don't have a dryer. We just knew ours was dying. And so we were looking and we talked to a sales guy and we, asked a bunch of questions and we're kind of referencing stuff online and it's getting really close. They're going to close in like 10 minutes. And so we're basically like going to leave and come back the next day when they're not about to close and like buy this dryer. And the guy's like, oh, well, are you guys, did you guys decide on something? And it's like, yeah, you guys are about to close though, like we'll come back tomorrow. And he's like, well, I don't care. So we kind of made him say it was okay to stay. And then we were there about 15 minutes after they closed. I know he probably just wanted the sale and that's fine. I respect that. I don't have a problem with that. But I also was not going to be the guy that's going to make them stay open because I got a bunch of stupid questions about a dryer that could wait till tomorrow. So
I
I tried
always
to,
ask if they work commission now. If they do, I want them to get credit
yeah.
for taking their time.
Yeah. And just trying to be respectful of other people and
Yeah.
their time and what they're doing.
Yep. Yep. I hear you.
Oh, this Pablo, chill at the
Hey,
office for work.
flexing. That's
Oh no,
probably
that's
what
fun.
Tim and Bob think I do, considering how much I'm on their Discord.
That's all right. You're still making that big money, so whatever you're doing, keep it up.
Well, I mean, I work at a desk and I do online sales, so sitting in front of a computer kind of comes with the territory.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
I get more done in front of that computer than I do out on our lot anyway. So, um, there you go. Retail customer service sales rant.
Look at
That
that.
you
Look at that.
asked for. We're always good for one, aren't we?
There's always something off topic we're gonna get into, and I'm fine with it. Everybody else was fine with it. I don't think we dropped a ton of viewers while we did
No,
that.
I don't think so.
I could tell
But
I could tell some crazy stories, but I will not get on that
I
rant about waiting tables.
I could as well. Maybe for another episode.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
We'll make it the 5 random stories night.
That's right. That's right.
But we got a topic to get into. We're going to talk about games that we actually like that have bad components. Tim, what came to your mind when you suggested that topic?
I mean, really, I just was kind of like games that I really like. There's like two that I thought of immediately, and it's funny because I saw one of them come up in the either on Facebook or in Discord, I forget, and I was like, yeah, I've got to use that one because it applies. But like games that either like I would immediately try to find ways to upgrade because the components aren't great, or I feel like you have to give like a disclaimer, like when you break it out,
Okay.
because here's the thing is, especially now, there's a different standard for like production value on board games than there
Yes.
was 5, 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
Whether it's art, whether it's rule books, components, component quality, card quality. I mean, all of these things are things that I factored in, like the different things, box art, like all kinds of stuff. Um, so I kind of tried to run the gamut of like a lot of different things and different examples of some component stuff, but all games that I would play and that I enjoy playing. And that's the most important part of this list is like, yeah, these games fall short, but they're great in spite of that.
Yep. That was exactly it for me. Number one, I like all these games. In fact, 4 out of the 5 are in my top 100. Uh, 3 out of the 5 are in my top 50. So I really like a lot of these games. One of them's in my top 5.
Nice.
So I really like some of these games. But as you said, they fall short for one reason or another, whether it's components or you got to say, oh, by the way, So yeah, the prerequisite was I like these games, but for one reason or another, usually one specific reason.
Mm-hmm.
However, my number one, I love that game. It's got a ton of component issues that I'm really going to go off on. So
Oh,
I haven't,
Dave, that's terrible.
ouch. I have only played Harmonies on BGA, so I guess I'm not missing anything.
Yeah, no doubt. I've never
You know,
played
I
it, but
actually considered, and I'm sure I know the Rossies were watching the full 42 when we did our top box art poll last week for 2024. I considered Harmonies for that list. I actually really like that unique box art. And the components, the resources that you're stacking actually look really good. But yeah, that's a shame about the cards. Ouch.
yeah, yeah, it is.
Wow. So I guess, Tim, now that we're half hour into this thing, maybe we should actually jump into our list.
Let's just go. Let's just go right now. Let's do it.
All right. Well, as always, Tim is going to start this thing off with his number 5.
So number 5, I'm going to go with the most obvious one. Usually I don't do this, but I can't not because it's a game that I love, and I guess I understand why the tokens for this game are so bad, but make me pay $5 more for Comic Hunters and give me
Yeah.
good
Seriously.
chits. Thank God the
Seriously.
card quality. I was really nervous because I saw those tokens and I thought the card quality was going to be terrible. The card quality is not too bad. I did sleeve mine immediately because there's a lot of shuffling and handling of these cards, and I don't want to take a chance. But I do have a backup version in Portuguese. I mean, it's language independent, but I do have my Brazilian copy.
Yeah, and even when they released it at Gen Con last year, that wasn't any better.
Right. No,
Uh,
no, no,
and
no. The Portuguese version actually has like thick cardboard chits and stuff. It's not bad. The Spin Master one,
it was the card quality that was poor, right?
yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't know because my sister gave it to me as a Christmas present and she sent it to me
Uh,
sleeved already. So I didn't even have to mess with it.
Nice.
That's what,
Wow.
listen,
Now,
man.
as you know, I recently picked this up on a Barnes and Noble sale because for $18 I couldn't pass it up, but I haven't even opened it yet. But yeah, the actual chits of the Spin Master version are really thin. I'm probably just going to slap them in coin capsules because that's a fix for me. I like the way those feel.
And Pablo, that's a pro tip, man. I might look into that because my comic hunters would get played, and I don't mind.
Okay.
I don't mind blinging out, spend a little bit of money blinging out some games I really like. And you are correct, Mister Bobby. like, like my friends, Portuguese. Well, like half,
That's
you know.
amazing.
What sleeves did I use? What did I do? Let me see, Chris. Let me see. I think I got like True Fit ones or something.
I'll come back to that. Brandon, good to see you, buddy.
Where did I put it?
Yeah, like I said, I haven't even opened mine that I picked up from Barnes and Noble only a week ago.
Golly, where the hell is it? It's somewhere over here.
The funny thing is, too, Tim doesn't like to spoil his list, but I'm like, Tim, please talk about Comic Hunters because you've played this way more than me, and the components are notoriously bad.
Oh, I 100% had to be
I
the.
knew you were. That's why I knew
Yeah.
I wasn't spoiling anything.
No, and you're right. Like I am like that where it's like, well, now you said it, I'm not going to put it on my list. I'm an idiot like that. I admit that. But at the same time, Mike, it was literally the second game I thought of when
I figured.
we were talking about it, and I knew you would know. You know, there's no secret there.
Figured there was no surprise there. But yeah, Tim, you taught this to me at my house last year.
Oh, here it is.
I haven't played it since. It's been probably almost a year since I played this. I need to get it out again.
So to answer your question, Chris, I have box lift, but I did put mine in like deck boxes inside. Um, but they're sleeved with like true fit um, sleeves, so the sleeves are pretty tight on there. Um, so if I put them in without any boxes, they do fit, and you could get no box lift. But like I said, I bought little deck cases. When Julia gave me my copy, um, she 3D printed stuff for me. Oh, look, it was autographed, which was awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, because my sister's awesome, uh, who's
Jeez.
who's down in Miami, by the way, getting ready for the Orange Bowl tomorrow.
Ah, of course.
She's our good luck charm. She's got to keep going to the game. She's got tickets to the national championship if they go.
Nice. There you go.
So Julia 3D printed me these guys, and then there's just like a little rubber band around.
Yeah, those are nice.
But these tokens, just real quick, like they're thicker, and they're like paper.
Okay.
They're paper thin in the US version. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I was gonna say those look way thicker. So it was
Yeah,
the cards that were lower quality in the Brazilian version.
yeah. Like I said, I never even pulled them out of the sleeve.
Yeah, and I haven't pulled out my copy yet. I think that's just what I was hearing on the airwaves.
I mean, they're not like linen finish, but they're okay.
Sure.
They're okay. They don't feel like they're gonna fold up in my hand like a cheap card table.
Right, right.
As I drop a bunch. But yeah,
But
the Spin Master Comic Hunters charge. I mean, it's a great price on that game. Like that's not an issue. But you got room to charge a couple more bucks to just improved like a tiny bit.
yeah, absolutely, Chris. That was the whole reason it made the list. It's a fun game. I'm looking forward to playing it again. That's why I picked up a copy here recently. It is a very fun game. I love all the different styles of drafting that are in it. It really kind of
Oh,
shakes it up from round to round.
oh my god, I love all the drafting styles in it. It's so good. So much fun.
Ooh, this is kind of cool. He used a metal Thor, the old
Oh,
hammer keychain as his first player marker. I love those kind of deluxe upgrades where you just
that's
kind of
what's up.
randomly find something. Yeah, that's cool.
It's
Very
kind of
cool.
like in my Star Wars Risk. I bought like a Micro Machines Millennium Falcon to use in there and some stuff like
Yes.
that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
One of my favorite random upgrades is Micro Machines and my copy of Heat.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I that ended up talking Bob into getting some from eBay. I still had mine from when I was a kid.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, good pick, good pick. Great game. That's why it made the list, number one. Okay, I got another one that's a good game, and it may not be immediately obvious why Quedlinburg has bad
Oh.
components, except how many people do you know that play with the base game chits? Nobody. Because everybody deluxifies those chits. And you have to. If you play with the chits that come with Quacks and Quedlinburg, and you play it 17 times like I have, those numbers start to wear off. The oil on your skin will pull the numbers off. Now, it's not like other bag builders where you can just look at the chit itself and you can discern the color and you know what you're looking at. You need to know the number. The value is the most important thing on the chip itself. And I literally know nobody that uses the chits from the base game of Quacks of Quedlinburg. That makes it a bad component quality when people won't even use what comes with it. It's an integral part of the game. Now, me, frankly, I did what this person did because I actually like the way this feels for the price. Coin capsules. I think they really feel great. Yes, 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 Wayne. That was me. Coin capsules, man. I like the way they feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, Di, that's it. You have to have the upgraded bits for this, whether you get them, the geek up bits. Those are the ones I've seen the most. The coin capsules. Or there's the acrylic versions. There's the ones that have like the plastic like things that go around them. Oh yeah, so there's this version here. These are the geek up bits. Um, but yeah, the upgrade bits are as much as the game
Yeah,
itself. I'm always
they
kind of one of
are.
those people where I'm like, wait a minute, I can get coin capsules for $15 and do the whole game, or I can pay the price of a game. No, no, no. I'll save that money and I'll just go buy another game.
Yeah.
I'm my brain just doesn't let me think about deluxifying a game for that price sometimes. Um, but yeah, it is a great game. That is why it made this list. But literally, there is no human I have ever met, and I've played a lot of people's copies of this. I said 17 were all on my copy. That's not true. I've played this 17 times on multiple people's copies. Never once have I played it with the base game chips. So they are unfortunately an inferior component for this game.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Also, right, like the wear and tear on those chits, as much mileage as you get out of the, playing that game. I mean, it's worth the effort.
Yeah, exactly. It's how much you end up playing this game. I'm trying to find. There's somebody just putting the regular old chips on. Oh no, they're showing what it looks like when you put those. I don't remember what you call those things, but kind of the other deluxified version is
Mm-hmm.
putting those like kind of ribs around the edge there.
Yeah, I'd do that. I
There
mean,
we go. There's somebody actually playing with just the base game chips. That monster, I tell you.
savage, savage.
But anyway, I still love this game. It's been a while since I've played, but it stays in my top 50 because I've played it enough to know I will play this game at the drop of the hat if somebody suggests it.
Mm-hmm.
Not what I'm asking for as much anymore, but if somebody says they want to play it, let's go. This game's so fun. So that's my number 5.
All right. So my number 4, I know I saw mentioned, but I'm not leaving it off the list because this is a game that I love. But like component wise, especially by today's standards, it's not wowing anybody. And I'm talking about. Wait, we need to do the thing, right? You doing the bumper?
Yeah, why not? Number
Okay.
4.
So, yeah, my number 4, Lords of Waterdeep. It's just cubes, and like the art on the cards is good. The board's not like the board is interesting because it's a map of Waterdeep, but at a glance, it just looks like a gray and brown mishmash until you like look closer, and then you can actually see that it's like, oh, it's the city, and these are like locations. Oh my god, Pablo, smelly dice cups. That is a real thing, man. Oh, that is a real thing. But I think that if they made Lords of Waterdeep today, I mean, it would come with the silk screen meeples or something. You know what I mean? Reflecting the different character types, right? Whether you're setting out warriors, thieves, clerics, wizards, and instead of just purple cubes, orange cubes, white cubes, black cubes. Um, but yeah, I mean, look, I mean, it's not impressing anyone. I wouldn't think, but like I've spent enough time playing that game and looking at that board that I've really grown to appreciate it. But I could see now, like by today's gamers, if I put that board out on the table, they're gonna look at it and be like, kind of make make a face.
Yeah.
Um, and now, kind of like the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, underestimate them at your own peril. Because if you turn your nose up at this game, you're missing out. It's a great game. I love this game. Um,
Yes.
Andrew,
Uh,
did I get metal coins for this? I think did I get the metal coins for this or something else? Anyways, there's a lot of different ways you can upgrade Waterdeep to make it better, but it's a great
oh yeah.
game. I've got a wooden insert for mine. Uh, Stuff like that. Oh yeah, I don't have the silk screen meeples. They look great though.
Oh yeah. So the cubes have never really bothered me in this game.
They
I
don't
mean,
really
I
bother
know
me.
I know they're supposed to be people that you're recruiting. And so yeah, maybe it does lose a little bit of that theme, but it never really bothered me. And maybe because this was my gateway game. This was the first game, modern hobby board game I bought for my collection. Um, I guess to me, it's worth mentioning how overrated this insert is. Like when it's your first board game, you're like, "Oh, that's a pretty good insert," and then you put it in there, and then you realize if that thing gets tilted at all
I mean,
progress is
if
lost.
you tilt that thing more than like 5 degrees, everything
You're
is
screwed.
everything is underneath the insert and like outside of the box. So you're like, what happened? Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's man, yeah, these will go everywhere. Oh, and remember when you'd like have like a stack of these in your hand, and you're like, oh, and then you pinch slightly and they all go flying. The first time I did that when I was like, no, I'm throwing this insert away.
it is the nerd version of 52 card pickup, right? It's like all the tokens like just everywhere.
Dude, you know what's funny is I actually put this on my list just because of the insert and I moved it to an honorable.
You're welcome. You are welcome. You know what's funny, Mike,
um,
is because I have had the wooden insert for this for so long, I forgot what a nightmare
wow.
that insert was. Um,
Yes.
but kind of like you, this is one of those games where the cubes don't bother me. I grew, you know what I mean? I was born to it. Like I don't, it doesn't bother me at all. It's, but when
Yeah.
you are trying to show somebody else the game and they see other games in my collection that are, newer, right?
Yeah.
So things are just a little different now. They're like, oh, just
Right.
cubes. I'm like, trust me, this game's really good and it's fun. We're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And one of my most played games too, as far as games that take like an hour, 90 minutes or longer. I 28 plays on this baby, and I still rank this in my top 50. This is an evergreen, amazing game. Still love it to this day.
hell yeah, and you don't have to care about D&D. You can just play this game and have a great time. You don't need to know anything. Like just
No,
sit
no.
and play it. Yeah, great game.
I just love how, depending on the quests you get, it can just totally change your strategy. Those quests can really ramp up your game for you.
Yes. Yeah, and then also right, this is one of those games where if you are inclined, try the expansions because I think having them in the game really improves the game.
Mm.
A game that I
Yeah,
already enjoyed, but now if I have the option, I don't play without the expansions. Like they
yeah,
just
I'm with
add an
you.
extra level.
Yeah, especially the
Scoundrels of
uh
Skullport.
there we go. Jeez, drew a blank there. That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
amazing
it's
game.
good
I love
stuff,
that.
man.
Yeah, trying to get rid of that. Like the places that give you the most of those are the best, but
Oh, they're
you got to get
so
rid of
good.
them. They cost
Oh,
you so many points.
so much corruption. Unless you can get the leader that makes them worth, a point basically or 2 points.
Yeah. All right. I hate that I'm gonna go after this publisher because hey, what's up, David? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, exactly. We're only an hour in. Uh I hate that I'm going at this one, but if anything, hey, any pub is good pub. And I'm talking about a game from the op, Tim.
Uh oh.
I know I kind of feel bad about it with especially with Da 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 sitting back here.
Hey, listen,
Uh,
man. Again, we are talking about these games because we love them.
we do
So
like that. No, I never owned this one, but I reviewed this on the channel, and I just always thought this was such a huge misstep because this game's really good. I'm talking about Disney Sorcerer's Arena, Tim.
yeah, I like this
Remember
game
how
quite a
long
bit.
it's a great game. It's deceptively, you would see that Disney theme and maybe think this is light, but this is a deceptively strategic tactical miniatures game with really cool acrylics, actually.
All right,
Um,
Mike. I'm waiting for you to say what I know is going to be the problem.
yep, you know what it is. You know what it is. So There's one major flaw in this game. Wow, there aren't a ton of pictures, so I'm just trying to find a
The one
version
you
of the.
had up, the one you had up has
Here
the,
we
oh,
go.
there's the acrylics. Yeah.
The acrylics are awesome, and the
They're,
thing is this is the first game I remember seeing with these 3D acrylics, and on the back you see the backside of the character, so it's not just
yes.
an inverse of the front. And they've got those really cool dials that you use to track the health. But the biggest problem is that those dials don't move.
Oh,
You
yeah.
have
That's
to
not what I thought
lift.
you were going to say. Those dials do
Oh,
suck, though.
I'm curious what you have. So with those health markers, those health dials, you have to lift the dial up to turn it. It won't just turn on its own. It was a
Yeah.
misstep when this game was manufactured that these dials do not turn. Lift it, move it, put it back down.
I
And
agree.
it was a great idea. It's a cool game. It's better than you think it would be given the theme, very tactical and strategic, but those health dials were a really big misstep. And here I am 2 years after reviewing it, and it still stands out to me how those dials were really problematic.
So I thought you were going to say something else. Can you go back to the very first picture you showed? That one right there.
Oh, I got you.
Okay. So my problem with this game, because you have these beautiful acrylics and these cards with great artwork on them, right? I mean, it's really good artwork on all these cards. That board is ugly. The board's ugly.
Super plain.
It's very plain. It's very basic.
Yeah, I got you.
I
I
mean,
got you.
listen, I've got everything for this game. As they were publishing it, I was reaching out to the op going, hey, can you send us the new expansion? I really want to talk about it because I love this game. I got
Yeah.
to meet and become friends with the designer,
Sean
Sean
Fletcher.
Fletcher, of this game. Like, Fletcher's a great guy. Yeah, I really enjoy this game. I love all the strategy and the different team ups and the pairings and the way you kind of have to work that is really cool. Really cool. And yes, Mike, you were right. Those dials are not great. And I don't love the board. Like, I was sitting there, you brought that picture up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that board is ugly. And then you started going on about the dials, and I was like, oh, I forgot about the dials. Yeah, they're
The
bad too.
dials, man. Like the dials seem like such a cool idea, and you literally can't even use them as their design.
And you can't turn them.
Hey, what's up, Andrew?
Andrew, I am from now until February or whatever. I am a Lions fan, so let's go.
Absolutely. I actually almost sent it to you yesterday. I went on this site and like filled out what my chosen winners of the NFL playoffs. I got the Lions over the Chiefs.
Ooh! I
They're
want
the
a
best team in
Lions.
the NFL.
I want a Lions Bills Super Bowl because I just think you're going to have two gunslingers going at it.
I went objectively. This is what I think will happen. I really do believe that the Lions are the best team in the NFL.
Listen, until somebody figures out a way to beat the Chiefs, it's tough. It is tough.
Yeah, they've gotten lucky a lot, but some teams just figure out how to win.
That's it, man. They're winners. I mean, you love them or hate them. Andy Reid's a winner. Mahomes is a winner. They find ways to do it. But
I'm totally good with that kind of Super Bowl, though.
But I do love just the Lions style. I kind of equated a little bit to Notre Dame, man. They do not coach scared. They're aggressive, and they just go for it. And you want to talk about a team that's decimated by injuries, yet continues to dominate. Again, like Notre Dame, same kind of thing. Next man in, and like that is an awesome team to watch. Super fun. So
balls to the wall, man. No reason to change your strategy now.
No, play the way that got you there, man.
Yep, exactly. Love it.
But anyways,
anyway,
okay.
We can talk about football when we're done.
No doubt. Mike and I could just do. Well, I know Mike already kind of talks about fantasy football, but yeah, Mike and I could just do a sports podcast so nobody would watch it. That'd be fine too.
No joke. Yeah, no joke though. I actually do a fantasy football podcast on Monday nights, only during football season though, and the season's over. Anyway,
you got to hit us up.
That's only for the league. There's like 12 subscribers. Anyway, moving on. Number 3.
So my number three is a game that shouldn't be as good as it is. I will still argue that there's other deck builders that I like better. Um, Look at that.
That particular league would be tough. It's Dynasty, and I can get into that later. It's insane what how depth this Dynasty league is.
Andrew, I'll get you in our family league. You'll just run through everybody, and that'll be fine too.
We should do a rundown league next year.
Oh my God, we should do a rundown league.
Yes, we're
Oh
doing it. Oh, Andrew knows
shit.
his football. I shouldn't be saying
Do
that he
it.
wouldn't handle a Dynasty league. But
Yes.
we're doing a rundown
We're doing
fantasy
a
football league
rundown. We're
next year.
doing a
It's
rundown
done.
league. It's happening.
Yes.
It's happening. Great job.
Awesome.
Thank you, Andrew. You've inspired us. And
Yes. Love it.
good morning, Steph. Good to see you on the other side of the planet. Okay, so I was going into deck builder. It has no right being as fun as it is. I still think that DC is superior, but there are those that prefer the ICP deck building game into the Echo side. Um,
Ah,
so this game uses like the similar, like sort of straightforward deck building mechanic where you've got cards and they basically have a currency. You buy the cards, add them to your discard pile, you draw, and you're trying to defeat or do something with this stack of other characters and what you get through them. Blah blah blah. The problem is these cards are freaking paper thin.
yeah.
These cards are so thin. The art on this in this game is vibrant and looks great. And I don't even really care about ICP. Um, yeah, no doubt, Andrew. No doubt. Dave, so what we were just talking about is a fantasy football league for Board Game Rundown fans and hosts. Yes. So hell yes, man. I cannot wait to embarrass myself in front of all of you as I draft bear after bear after bear, knowing that one day statistically it will have to be our year, even if it takes like 113 years.
We could stream the draft.
Oh shoot, that'd be terrible.
Stream the draft.
Oh, you make me do
We already got
research.
5 members already. We got
Oh,
6 with Brandon.
that's
We'll come
amazing.
back to this topic. We'll come back.
Yeah, okay, but this is amazing. This is happening. Mike, you making notes?
Done.
Oh, don't worry, David. You won't come
7.
in last. I came in last in our family football league. So much that my niece for Christmas signed a ball and gave it to me. And on the box, she wrote like that my present was wrapped in because my team name is the South Bend Chicken Nibblers. Um, and she said when she played me, she was like texting me going, "It's Chicken Nibbler week. It's I'm gonna destroy you, blah blah blah," talking all this trash. She beat me barely. And then yes, she autographed a ball and gave it to me for Christmas. As a just in your face. I was so proud of her. I was so proud of her as an uncle. It's one of my favorite Christmas presents I got. But anyways, ICP, the deck building game. Yeah, David, I guess technically you kind of should be. This game's actually really good. It's really solid. And if you're into ICP and the characters, the rappers, all these people, it's all people that are involved in there, show up at the what do they call them? What do they call the Juggalo meets? The gatherings. All these people show up at the gatherings or whatever. Juggalos, juggalettes. But yeah, the art's really good. It's really fun, and you have a good time. You have a good time playing this game. It's kind of hard to find, but the card quality is junk. So if you buy this game, just buy sleeves immediately and sleeve it ASAP. Like just don't even handle it without the sleeves.
Yeah, it's easy to look at this and think it could be a cash grab, but this is legitimately a fun deck building game.
Yeah, isn't it like the brother of one of the guys is a board gamer and wanted to make a game, and so then he did it. I think that's the story behind it.
Yeah, it's fun for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to this topic now. So the fantasy football. All right, so We have some interest. I don't feel bad going into this for a second.
Right?
Um, so Brandon, I actually prefer auction leagues because the strategy there's much more strategy. It's not okay, what pick do I have? That determines who I'm able to get. Auction drafts are very long. You're right, but you can get anybody you want. So it's far more strategic, and the ability to bid people up is a blast. I'd be bidding up Tim on every bear. That would see that is that's why auctions are great. Um, my like I said, I probably more knowledgeable in sports. I am more knowledgeable in sports than board games. Um, I've been in the same fantasy baseball league for 25 years, and I'm now the commissioner of it. I've lost a lot of interest in baseball, especially fantasy baseball. It's a grind. It's 162 games. You have to set a lineup every single day. And I'm about ready to be done with fantasy baseball, but Cubs fan, but 25 years of fantasy baseball. Um, been in fantasy football for about as long, but now I'm in a dynasty league. Andrew, I don't know if yours is as hardcore as ours, but with ours, you have to field a 5-man flex. So it doesn't matter if they're running backs, wide receivers, or tight ends, a quarterback, an offensive line as a group, a punter, a kicker, a head coach, and every single individual defensive player. So you're starting 11 defensive players, and you have to have a 52-man roster, which you will get to with a $250 million salary cap auction draft.
Ooh, question.
It's
Uh,
insane. It's
if
insane.
Can you get points for unspent timeouts? Because if you do, I want Matt Eberflus as my coach because I will have all the points because we won't call a
Uh,
timeout. We will stand there frozen in terror.
um, yeah, there's different levels
Yeah,
of
Dave, that's not what we're
dynasty.
talking about. That's not what we're doing with ours. We're not going.
No,
No,
all
no,
we're
no,
talking
no.
about standard snake draft. So, we're talking 10 to 14 teams. Pick a guy, a quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, a flex, a tight end, a kicker, a defense. Standard stuff. 6 guys on the bench. Very easy stuff. But we already got 7. So, anyway, very hardcore about my fantasy leagues. Hey, there you go. Anyway, sorry. I had to go on a brief side tangent for that one.
Okay, so real quick, there is something to talk about with maybe doing that board game league too, where you draft
Yeah,
games, check BGG. That could be interesting. But
that
let's.
is interesting.
Kat wants to hear how many baskets did your team get last year, Mike? Can we lose the kickers? Oh, the lonesome
Yes,
kicker.
seriously, gladly.
What,
And
I don't get to draft Cairo Santos. Come on, he beat the
no,
Packers.
no kickers. And if we only have 10 or 12 people, I'm in favor of 2 quarterbacks as well.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Uh,
That'd be fine.
how many
Okay, Mike.
baskets?
Mike,
Anyway,
what's your number 3?
my number 3. Let me go back to my list. Okay, this is one of my all-time favorite games. But the thing is, it's been reprinted twice. First time, yeah, they made the chits better. But then recently, Awakened Realms did a complete master deluxe edition, and now my first edition is just collecting dust. It's Castles of Burgundy. This was a Ravensburger game, and this was one of my first games that I completely fell in love with.
Sorry.
I love this game. Steffenfeld is still one of my favorite designers because of this game, but the box art does nothing for the game. That's number one.
No, it doesn't. It's the reason I've never played this game. Oh, one of the reasons.
Yeah, it does nothing for the game. The art, very bland, brown and more brown and tan.
Number 2 reason why I've never played this game.
Yeah, those player boards, basically card stock. Card stock. 2 different shades of greens as your different tiles. It's just ugly. And I haven't even gotten to the main board. Let me get to the main board. Ugh.
Yeah.
There's just nothing when this game's sitting out on the table, nowadays it's like, pass. There's nothing
Yeah,
about this game that make you stop and want to know what it is. Nothing.
no.
Um, but man, Andrew, I haven't tried the expansion on my Castles of Burgundy. It's sad how unloved my deluxe Awakened Realms version is. Now, I will say all I did was get the acrylics. I did not think those terrains were necessary whatsoever. That's overkill. I mean, look at what I was playing before. The acrylics are plenty. The art's way better. The boards are thicker. But yeah, just as far as components and just the workers and these silverlings and how thin the chits are, and the ugly art. It just, yeah, the components suck. What's up, Mike? Thanks for joining us.
You know what's
Um,
funny is this kind of looks like a game that I just got in a trade, but I haven't played yet. But I know that it's ugly, and that's Dominant Species. Like
mm,
Dominant Species
yeah,
also looks ugly. It looks like work, you know. And
yeah,
that OG Castles of Burgundy, right? Like I remember being at game nights, 2014, 2015, and people are like, "Oh, do you want to play this?" And I'm like, no. But I didn't know near as much about, board games then, and was way too quick to dismiss stuff that I then went back to and just absolutely fell in love with, So
yeah. I mean, this version was a little better. This was a 2019 reprint. Um, a little bit more color, at least, a lot more color. I was actually trying to find. Maybe I'll have to Google it. I just couldn't. I was just going to show. Obviously, everybody that's played this game and loves this game as much as I do, they've got the Awakened Realms version because it just there we go, special edition blows this out of the water. First, the box art is just
yeah, get out of here, man. That box art's
much
amazing.
better. It comes with 3D castles. It comes with dual layer player boards. And then also, it actually has a plastic grid that you overlay so that when you put the acrylics on it, the tiles stay in place. It's just fantastic. The only thing that's tough is, as somebody that has played this a lot, especially online, I've played this online hundreds of times for 10 years now. I still don't have the new iconography memorized. I still have the first edition
Mm.
icons memorized, including all the yellow tiles. And there's a lot of those, and they don't all come out every game. And so I'm still like using the player aids to memorize the icons. But unfortunately, no, I have not played the extra stuff. I haven't played the Vineyard expansion. Top 50, I put this at number 3 this year. It's been in my top 10 every year I've done this. I did consider this an all-time favorite at one point, but some other games have replaced it for me. But man, this I have fond memories of teaching this to lots and lots of people. Love this one. But that first edition's terrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like I said, it
I
looks like
haven't
work.
yeah,
And
yeah,
again,
spoilers. Hey, everybody knows I'm a Feld fan, and Council of Burgundy is one of my all-time favorite games, so I don't feel like I'm spoiling a whole lot here. So
that's right. And maybe you'll forget by the time that list comes out.
true. Probably re-ranked it by then.
Oh, look at that. Point them exactly like the tile image. Okay. I wouldn't know. I haven't played it, but did we lose Mike? Did Mike just sign off? Mike. Oh, there he's back.
Sorry, I hit the back button on the wrong screen. When you hit the back button on StreamYard, you leave the StreamYard instead of hitting the back button on BGG. Whoops.
Womp womp. I was like talking, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Mike's gone. I get.
It's funny. It seemed like I used to talk about this game like every week, and now it's been months since I've been able to talk about this game. So, switch us up there. Very happy to do so. Amazing game, and many other people's favorite as well.
So Wayne, I have the original version of Brass, but I haven't played it, so I didn't put it on my
Mm,
list. But I do have
That's
that
funny.
old ugly version of brass.
I have the new version of brass and OG Rococo. Uh,
Oh, weird.
Rococo was new to me this year, though. I actually found an OG copy after the deluxe came out. I said, you know what? I'm just going to get the original version. They didn't change any of the gameplay. Yeah, hideous
I
box.
got this for
Hideous.
like $10.
You paid too much. Just kidding.
Oh.
It is a great game, but it's just awful to look at. I'm getting a headache, actually.
Yeah, right. All right, are we on to number 2 now?
Ooh, Burgundy Wednesday. Hey, there we go.
Oh, I'm Ron
Order of
Burgundy.
whiskey. I'm Ron Burgundy. My apartment reeks of rich mahogany.
Smells
All
of
right, let's move
mahogany.
on here. I gotta linger on Castle Burgundy as long as I can. Okay, number 2.
Oh man, number 2 hurt me to put on this list, but I had to do it. I had to do it because I have upgraded like the one component that I could. Um, but there's no fixing the ugly tiles in this game. There's just no way to do it. And I'm talking about Lords of Vegas. I fixed the paper
Oh,
money and I got the badass poker chips. But the paper money in Lords of Vegas is, I mean, it's kind of fun because it's a little jokey. So I appreciate the effort there. But the tiles, like all the casino tiles, are just kind of ugly. And they're just uh, vague color, of, the casino that it represents, and that's fine. But and I love this game. I will play this game anytime, anywhere. I absolutely adore this game. But those casino tiles are ugly. The street makes sense, like going down the middle,
mhm.
Um, but at the same time, like the rest of the board is kind of whatever. Um, and I'm not saying that the board needs to be super busy because you're piling up those tiles, but maybe the tiles should look like a little better somehow. I don't know. I don't know. But I don't care. This is a great game. I love this game. I'm glad that it got reprinted. You know what I mean? And I haven't tried. I haven't seen the new stuff. That they put out for it because it's like a different. It's like a different casino, right? Or a different theme. Or
Americana.
yeah, Americana.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
oh, that is
Yeah,
Steph. That is not
Steph.
entirely true. Oh,
Well,
oh, it is
Steph
for
watched
Tim.
Steph watched the video.
Yeah.
Steph watched the video. And
So it is defaulted.
now it has been in the forefront of my mind. And also here's the other thing is that box art ain't great either. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. But I remember being at my sister's house and I think it was John Richard pulled this game off the shelf and was like, "You guys want to play Lords of Vegas?" And I'm kind of like, I mean, yeah, sure. Like I was happy to play a game with him. Like, hey, this guy was play a game with us. We were down to play it, but like I was not impressed by the box art, by the components. And we got playing this game, and I was like, holy crap, I need to own this game like right now. Um, 2 turns in, you know what I mean? It was like this game's
Yeah.
amazing. So it is what it is. It's a great game. I think parts of it are super ugly. Whatever. Um, yeah, so I didn't, it didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't register that it was in my collection. Like I had the own box unchecked when I moved it over, like imported my BGG collection to the Pub Meeple to then do my rankings.
Hmm.
And so it didn't even get like slotted over. It was such a disaster. Um, Yeah, I haven't played Burgle Bros, but I'm gonna just take your word for it because I don't think it would be hard to make those tiles look better.
This expansion looks really good. I mean, they really spruced up the art a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be compatible with first edition though. But my understanding is that you can now gamble at people's casinos differently. It's not just a die roll.
Okay.
There's a whole different game you can play when you gamble at people's casinos, which is one of my favorite parts of the game. Oh, you don't have enough money to build that upgrade that you wanted? Well, go gamble at somebody's casino. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
get to do it. I love that.
Oh, I
Uh,
love looking people in the eye and just taking their money. It's so good. It's so good. Or
uh,
when I lose, and because I have the poker chips, I splash the pot whenever I want.
give that man his money.
Yes, one of the all-time great sports movies, and it
Oh
counts
yeah.
as a sports movie.
Yeah, I need to get this expansion and just play this game again. It's so
Yeah, we
fun.
do. Yeah, but I've got the poker chips. I love them. I'll never go back. Yeah, I can't. I can't. It's a thing. It's that damn American public school education, and then skipping a lot of
Yeah,
school
you know.
didn't help. All right, Mike, what's your number two?
My number two. I almost put Castle of Burgundy number two, but I used to talk about it all the time, so I switched it up a little bit. This is another older game. Doesn't get as much love as it used to. Kind of a hidden gem, in my opinion. But this is Deus. Um, Deus is a fun little engine builder. What I like about this game is that it doesn't take forever to play, like a lot of newer engine builders do. And it's got a pretty neat mechanic. So you're gathering, well, first, it's got a map. So you got to move around the map. And yes, very underrated.
Uh,
Uh,
Real quick,
yep.
just let's answer Steph's question real quick. I don't think poor components always means the game is cheaper, honestly, or these expensive but look cheap. I think that both are true. Because like Shannon, yes, the new print of Comic Hunters, it's not great. I sleeved mine. The cards are actually not terrible. The cards are okay, but I sleeved them. But the I did talk about it earlier, but the chits are terrible. They're awful.
Yeah, that
So
was Tim's number five. He's got the Brazilian edition, and I've got the US edition. And yeah, not good.
I've got both, so I can compare them. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I got mine at Gen Con.
Um,
But anyways, Mike, please continue with
yeah,
Deus.
this little hidden gem, unique engine builder. Because first you got a map here, and you get to put guys out on the map. And every time you play a card, you build a building. And so you've got to build the buildings out onto certain parts of the map. You got to have the resources to build the building. And one interesting mechanic about this is that when you build a card, if it's your first card, then of course you're just going to activate the card. If it's your second card in a column, you're going to activate the card underneath it first and then activate that card. So then if it's your third card of the column, you activate the two under it, then activate that third card. So you build these really interesting chains and engines that you're working on as you build these columns up. And this also has some really interesting player interaction. As there's like a military card that allows you to move around and steal resources from people. But where they really, really missed the mark on this game, let me just find. See you, Shannon. Thanks for popping in.
Good to see you.
Here we go. All right. So the wood in this game, all of the resources are wood, so that's nice. The wood resource is a brown disc. Okay. The wood resource on the cards is a green circle. Now it's got the image of brown wooden logs in there, but just make the circle brown. It confuses everybody every time I teach this game. It was a terrible decision. I don't know if it was because they have a green player color in the game and they didn't want it to be confused with player colors. I don't know. But your your wooden resources match colors on every other resource except the wood. That is just a massive misstep in what is otherwise a very, very clever and yet older engine building game here. So Deus, underrated gem. I heard it might get a reprint or at least a retheme with some like asymmetric player powers. Very cool, quick engine builder, but man, make your resources match the ones that are on the cards. That's why it's my number two. That's just horrible.
Yeah, I haven't played this. I'd love to play it, but
Yeah, it's really easy to teach. Yeah, I got to start bringing this one around again. I always thought this game never got enough love. It moved out of my top 50 only because I haven't played it in a little while. But I'll be talking about it.
oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Dave says it's a graphic design problem. Well, if the component was green, hmm,
Listen,
hmm,
I'm just
I'm willing
glad.
to replace it. I'm being demanded that I replace this.
Listen here, Dave
Let's do
doesn't
it.
doesn't dictate. You mean I got to sit and
All
listen to you
right.
talk for 20 minutes about a different game?
Hey, I got some honorable mentions, so we'll just bring them up then.
Hey, you know what though? Like I did say at the beginning that there are a lot of different things that could fall under components for me
Yeah.
in this. Um, oh, David supports you in that. Oh, look at that! Damn Mets fans in here ruining everything.
Wow, wow.
Um,
It does need a reprint for sure. Better components. Um, yeah.
so I will leave my other my more nitpicky ones or whatever to the honorable mentions, and I will stay true to form with one of probably a game that is beloved by many, and the components are famously bad.
Ooh, and it's
Produced,
your number one.
oh yeah, produced here, not only in the United States, but produced in the great state of Indiana. And I'm talking
Or yeah.
about terraforming Mars, especially the early print runs. I can't speak to newer editions, and I know they did like a deluxeified version of this and everything. But man, those early editions, those components, those cubes wore out like so easily. The player boards are flimsy, and you needed overlays for them. And I mean, the art I actually didn't have a problem with. You know, I was waiting. I was waiting. It's not great, Andrew. I will not die on that hill and be like, that art's great and it does what it needs. That art is what I like to call functional. That's about it.
These things.
Yeah, those things just wear, those cubes wear out, you know, like the corners start to go and you're just like, ugh. Um, and yeah, Andrew, yeah, it is what it is. It's a really good game. It's a really well designed game that I don't like to play with anybody but for myself, because otherwise I feel like the game could take too long. And yeah, you're right. For $70, that's terrible. It's terrible quality. I agree. I agree. It should be better. Shame on you, Stronghold. But I guess maybe they were trying. I think it was it that they were trying to produce it in the States and thought that, you know, like, and then it just wasn't up to the quality. I don't know. I guess that's a question for Bonacore, right? Like, just ask Bonacore, hey man, like, what's up? I don't think we got to do it on like a live show. Maybe we don't put them under the gun like that, but I mean, I
Get them on the
would,
show.
I could try, get them on. We know a guy who knows him.
We do know.
I've had some drinks with him before. Um, he might recognize my nose and be like, "Oh yeah, you're Julia's brother." But yeah, see, Evan, there's a lot of problems with the components on this game. And here's the thing: is the fact that this game, despite all of those issues, is still rated very highly, is a credit to the quality of the gameplay. Um, you know, it's a really well designed game with interesting choices. It uses the tags really well, and it kind of set I feel like it set a new trend, right, in gaming. There's some of those games they break through and they just do something on a next level, and then it inspires like a whole other chain of games. Um,
It did.
but man, those early, I won't speak to more recent printings, but as of like 2017 or 2016 when that game came out, it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough, components wise.
Plus, how about the fact that literally nobody will play it without an overlay for their player board?
And you shouldn't.
Oh,
Right, right. Yeah,
right.
the fact that you probably should upgrade it just to make it feel playable is a problem, right? At least the old version. Again, full disclosure, old version. And I say all these things. I've got it over there on my shelf. You know what I mean? It's my wife's cousin David Godfrey, not the one in the chat, but my wife's other cousin. I mean, he's got the all-in Kickstarter crazy, badass looking edition. I mean, people absolutely love it, and for good reason. So, but yeah,
Yeah. Got to play with them overlay. Yeah.
yeah. And for me, I got to play it solo or two player because I don't want to
It's long.
more than three. It's way too long, and I'm like, all right, let's do
Yeah.
something else.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick. This one did not pop up on my radar, but that's a good pick.
It was like my number one from the start.
Yeah, this one just didn't for some reason. But yeah, really good pick. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Nice.
Obviously. Obviously.
Been a while since I've had an opportunity to do this. We're going we're going in, guys. Buckle your seatbelts. We're going in. All right. So it seemed like when we first started doing Whiskey Wednesday, I would talk about a lot of the same games and especially like my favorite designers. My favorite designer is Stefan Feld, and one of the reasons is because of the Castles of Burgundy. And as you may know, the game that's in the hotness right now is Civolution. That's his huge, big, Magnus Opus that's currently out. Well, the one that came out more recently before that was Marrakesh. And yes, I have only played this game one time, and I was blown away by this game. This game is so good. So basically, you've got 12 different colored action tokens. They're called Keshis. They all do different things. You're going to choose three of them. Everybody chooses three of them simultaneously, then reveals them simultaneously. One person takes them all into their hand, and they're going to drop them into a cube tower. Here's where the problems start. The idea of the cube tower is to randomize how many cubes actually fall out so that not all of them are available every single round. If I could just find a picture of a cube tower, right? Problem is, 99% of the time, all the cubes are just going to fall right out. So why even use the cube tower? Why? In fact, one of the things they actually had to do was there's a cube tower variant that they had to make. I have no idea how to get this. Okay. They had to actually widen the shelves of one of the shelves of the cube tower just so they would actually stop cubes from going all the way through. Because most of the time, all the cubes are going to just fall right out, rendering the cube tower completely useless. Okay. So,
I,
no idea how to get this. No idea.
I got a question for you, Mike.
Uh-huh.
Do you think, and I haven't played this, do you think you could just draw the cubes out of the bag and it would have the same effect?
No,
Oh, do
no,
they
because you have
the
to be able
cubes?
to. The idea is everybody chooses the ones that they want to potentially use that round, and then they all get combined. But the thing is, you don't actually know how. how many are actually supposed to be available each round? Did they design it to where one was supposed to stay up there or two were supposed to stay up there? And then the thing is that when you drop other cubes in, the idea is that the cubes that are stuck in there from previous rounds would actually fall out and become available later in the game.
Right.
But that just the times I played it,
So
uh
how does a bag not fix that? Because you reach into a bag and you pull out cubes. Those are the ones that are getting. Oh, because it's a random amount of cubes that are coming out each round. I got it.
yeah, it's
I got it. I
yeah,
got it. I got it
it's
now.
not always one that's stuck every round or two
Gotcha.
that's stuck every round. Sometimes
I
it's none.
I
But
understand now. Yeah, yeah,
when
yeah.
I played, I think one cube got stuck the entire game. Um, yeah. Everyone played only on their turn just so they know that they would get it. Yeah. So that's like problem one is this cube tower. Okay. Now, making this even worse is that I think the City Series campaign from Marrakech from Queen Games is what made people start to lose their faith in Queen Games because they made these games so expensive, so bloated. And now there's so many versions of this game. If you're trying to jump into this now, I don't even know what you start with. I have no idea. What I ended up getting is the classic edition, which is this box. Now, this is a big box. It is also the most egregious use of a big box that I've ever seen. You think the Splendor box is too big? You should see the amount of air that is in this big box by the time you punch all the components and put it in there. It is ridiculous. Now that is just the classic edition, okay? There's a deluxe edition, which is the same size box, except it also has game trays, which in my opinion, you gotta have some type of components solution for this game because you need to sort all of these action tokens by color before you start the game. You have to. You just can't throw them all in one bag. You're just gonna add 15 minutes to set up every time you play it. Okay. Um, then and the thing is, there's so much space in that classic edition. Yeah, the game's amazing, Andrew. It's such a good game. But I got to go on this rant. I'm going to come back to how good the game is and why. But this is why it's terrible. It's overpriced. There's so much space in this box. All they had to do was just make the player board not as wide, and they could have fit it in like a standard Ticket to Ride box. So they did, and they made the Essential Edition, which fits in a 12 by 12 box. Problem is, if you get the Essential Edition, there's not enough cubes to play an entire game. So what they did was these Keshis that are absolutely required to fall through the cube tower that you then draft and then you put on your player board. I'm finding the wrong pictures here. Here we go. I'll just stay here. You end up putting them on your player board, and that determines the more you have there, the stronger the action gets. Well, you get about halfway through the game, you'll run out of the wooden ones. So what they did was they put cardboard ones in there. So you take the wooden ones off your player board, and then you put the cardboard ones on your player board so you can take those and sort them out again and drop them back through the cube tower. How fiddly does this game need to be? So you're telling me that the lower the price, they don't even give you enough components to play the entire game, so you got to resort it halfway through to have enough wood for one entire play? Are you serious? So that means there's 3 editions of this game, and it's only been out since 2022. We just they're just making a lot of consumers lose confidence with how they handled this City series, and this game is the most egregious use of all of it. It's but this game is fantastic. I mean, these Keshis that you draft and you put on your player board, every time you slot them into your player board, your actions get stronger and stronger and stronger. So the more stuff you have in that area, the more points, the more resources, the more special abilities you're getting. And so just every time you're drafting, the decisions are so interesting. And your actions are stronger every single time you perform them. Um, Now, one last rant. There are 12 different colored action tokens because there are 12 different actions that you can take in this game. So every piece of wood is a different color, which makes it impossible for colorblind people. I played this with Bob, and they tried to make a solution here. So the bottom of the cube tower, when the Keshis drop out, you sort these and you put them on top of these icons. Problem is, if it's sitting on the icon, you can't actually see the icon. Okay, the icons match what's on the player board, but you have to put them slightly off to the side to see the icon for it to even work. And most of the time, that doesn't happen. So if you're actually playing with a colorblind person and these Keshis have to sit slightly off to the side, the only way you can make this game a viable option for a colorblind person is they have the colored Keshis on the back of the player aids, which have a screen so people can't see which ones you're drafting in your hand. You can number them all, but that means you got to take a Sharpie to every single action token in this game, and there's 12 different colors of them. Like it is a really, really, really good game. But man, they just dropped the ball. They made it so confusing to figure out which version to get and how to fix the cube tower, how to make it colorblind friendly. And if you get the cheaper version, the essential edition, you don't even have enough wood to play an entire game. So that to me is a lot of problems for what is otherwise a really good game. I mean, it's not just one component. It's a lot of components in this game are a huge problem. So there you go. End rant. Marrakesh, Queen, get your shit together.
Man. I mean, all deserving. I've heard you guys talk about Marrakesh before. I don't know that I've noticed the cube, or I've heard you guys talk about the cube tower before, but I knew the colors was a thing for sure. Um, and it's hard, right? 12 different colors. I'm sure there's a better solution, but no, there's no Civolution review in the queue. We don't have that game yet, right? Do you own that yet? Nobody has that game.
No, I'm considering it, but the teach is really going to be time consuming. The learn and the teach is going to be really time consuming. As much as I love Feld, I'm just like debating how much I want to really dive into that because
And
I
then
have so many unplayed games as it is.
is there a BGA version of Marrakesh?
There's not. I wish there
Okay.
was. I don't know that Queen has really put any games on BGA. That I not any modern games.
Other than Castles, right? Or no, that's not them. That's
And that's
Raven.
yeah, that
That's
wasn't even a
Ravensburger.
Queen. Yeah. And yeah, Bob, numbering all the pieces, but that just goes to show you how like this, what we're looking at, was not a viable solution, and therefore is not a good component. If Bob's the only person I can get to play this game again, I'm probably just going to go ahead and number out my pieces.
Yeah. I mean, I'd
I
play
thought
this
this
for
game was
sure, but
freaking fantastic. It's actually, considering everything that's going on, it's not that hard to learn. It's one of those where there's a lot to explain, but nothing you're doing is that difficult.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't mind
But
games like that.
yeah, Marrakesh, I really, really do love the game. Yeah, and I really do want to play again badly. Maybe at the next Julia Matt, that would be a good time to bust it out.
Yeah, there you go.
It's that good. That's where I played it last time. They have the actual deluxe, the maroon box that has the game trays, which is the easiest to get it out.
Yeah, and Chris said that even then it still took 10 minutes to put away.
Oh yeah, easily. It's a beast. It's worth it though. If you got somebody willing to teach this thing to you, it is a fantastic game. That's why I put it number one on this list. But it's got issues. Same here, Chris. I played it with Karen, Bob, and Darcy. I taught it that day. That was the only time I've played it so far. So there you go. I was looking forward to that rant. I've been wanting to go off on Queen for a while.
You feel better? You feel better? You feel good now?
I've been storing that one up.
You should have, Mike. You should have had your blood work done after the rant. See how it changes. See what it does for you.
Thanks for giving me the the 10-minute monologue there,
dude. Hey, look. That's what this is about, though, right? That's the point. Is we're talking about these games that we love that are just got some flaws. That's all right.
Drop drop the ball, and multiple flaws, so it had to be my number one. No, I know Karen said she loved that game, and I feel great because I taught it to her. So it's really cool when you teach somebody a game and they end up loving it and
Yeah,
buying it and teaching it to other people. That's a really good feeling.
yeah, it is. It really
And you
is.
know how many games Karen teaches. So to be the person that taught her Marrakesh and she's passing that along, I love that.
She's a great teacher too.
Absolutely. I'm sure she did better than I did.
Oh, hands down.
She's got way more experience. Way
she's
more
a,
experience.
oh, she's a pro though. I mean, like all jokes aside, I mean, she's a profession. She's basically a professional board game teacher.
Well, she's also a teacher,
Well,
not just
that's
a
true
board game
too.
teacher. She's also a teacher. So
That is true. That is true.
yeah, she got all the rules wrong. I'm sure.
Um, that's because
Good
Mike
one.
taught it to her wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
The
Honorable.
yeah, honorable mentions. I'll bust through a few real quick. It's funny because Andrea, what am I talking about? Andrew Styles took a shot at this earlier, but Concordia. I was mixing Andrew and Concordia because he put Crapcordia. Um,
Yes. Sorry,
yeah,
Tim. Yeah,
see you,
please do,
Hoop.
Bob. Get some rest, dude. Feel better.
I'm gonna be in bed not long after we sign off tonight because I've got to fast, and so no caffeine, no fun, no food. Yeah,
Andrew, do you actually not like the game? Please tell me it's because you don't like the game, or not because you don't like the game. Okay, thank God.
oh yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly, and it was on
It
my
is
honorable
ugly.
mention. Uh, it's a game that I love, but yeah, it's ugly as hell. It's sort of like one of those games that I dismissed for a long time because it was
Same.
ugly. But then I play it and I love it, and it's always at my very highly rated for me.
Yes, me too. I only give it a 10.
Right? Um, Another one I had, and this is just for the rule book. Everything else in this game is beautiful. The components are beautiful. The miniatures are great. The board is cool looking. And that is a game called Mezzo um, from Colossal Games. This rule book is uh, almost. I mean, it's a detriment. It is a detriment to trying to play and teach the game. It makes it really hard to get to the table because the rule book is so rough. Yeah, ugly but functional, right? That's fine.
Mm,
I can.
yeah,
That's Lords of Waterdeep for me.
yeah.
Yeah, there is much worse out there, David. The box art is really kind of what a lot of it. And the map, the board is just like it has a classical feel. I mean, it's going for a vibe. It achieves it. Um, and the last one that I have that I think is ugly as sin, but it's a great game, is the original Puerto Rico.
Mm,
That's a ugly game, but it's super
yeah, it
fun.
is. It's been a long time since I played Puerto Rico.
Same, same.
Actually, Trevor in the chat got me and Andrew to play, and I got skunked because I could not remember how to play it
Oh,
at
are you
all.
playing on like BGA or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It just did not come back to me.
yeah. You got what other honorable mentions do you have?
Yeah. Um, so I got one that's been reprinted twice because of how hideous it is. It's Ethnos. Um,
Ah,
Ethnos is a really good game. I mean, the combination of drafting, set collecting, and territory control based on what color cards you play. I got 12 plays of this. I played it at Grand Gamers Guild, or sorry, Grand Gamers Guild, Grand Con. um, Great game, hideous box. Now the thing is that these characters look fine on their individual cards, but on the box they just all blend together. It's like one. It's like just grayscale the game. Like it just they really dropped the ball on the box cover, which is a shame because close up, like this is actually what the card looks like. And like close up, hey, the halflings don't look that bad. close up, the dwarves don't look that bad, but they're all just in the same color, so it just blends together. And then on top of that, the board is just so blah. This
The
is
board is
blah the
ugly.
board.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
board is
it's
ugly.
hideous. So they did a retheme reprint called Archeo Society, and it does look better. But now it's getting a legitimate reprint and new art.
There you
So
go.
happy about that. So here's Archeo Society. I mean, already uh, interesting, I guess. But at least has different colors on it.
There are Dice Forge is actually probably the best one with removable die faces out of the couple of them that I played. Um, but it is sort of like sticking your spoon in a grapefruit, right? I mean, that thing, it's gonna squirt.
But yeah, this new version is looking solid. I mean, hey, this is a great improvement here. This is much better.
Yeah, that is.
And this board much better.
What's up
So
next?
hey, Nix. So happy to see more people get their hands on Ethnos. I've always loved this game. It's really fun.
I played it once. I
Uh,
really liked it, but it's been
yeah,
ages.
like zero downtime in this game. You're like, oh, it's my turn again. I love
Yeah.
games like that. So that one I almost put in my top five here. Let's go into another one. This is actually a deluxe component. I played this with you and Bob at QSCon. These guys are known for their components. It's Veiled Fate
Oh, Veiled Fate. Yeah.
from IV Studios. Every game from IV Studios is gorgeous, has bonkers components, has insane table presence. In fact, Tim and I were talking about doing table presence as our top five tonight, and I was going to see if you'd talk about Fractured Sky, even though I haven't even played it. But instead, we chose this and the metal miniatures were the greens you can't even tell apart. You remember how often we had to lift the miniatures up just to tell what color they were? The red blends in with the fuchsia dude here. The orange blends in with the yellow. I mean, this is, a digital photograph. When you're under light, these greens are identical. And so they have icons on them, but the problem is the icons are on the front. So you have to lift the miniature up and aim it towards you just to tell which one it was.
Yeah.
Man, I would have rather have played that game with the base game miniatures. And the
Yeah.
thing is, I looked $60 it costs to add those miniatures to this game. And you've got multiple colors that are almost indistinguishable depending on the light. And
Yeah.
colorblind players, forget it.
This had the same problem, and it's the same kind of metal components that Red Rising had from Stonemaier Games.
Yeah.
The deluxe edition.
Yes. Also true, Andrew. We were playing first edition, and I did hear they fixed it. And fortunately, IV Studios, they're going to make it right. Great publisher,
Yeah, they're
incredible
awesome.
components.
Yeah.
But this is one of the first things I thought of. I'm like, imagine being one of those people with first edition and paying $60 for these things you can't tell apart.
Well, and it's funny because I remember when we sat down to play that, and I'm like, oh, I can tell these apart. And then 5 minutes in, I'm like, no, I can't.
You know what's
yeah, Brandon
funny,
was in on
actually?
that game. Yeah.
I was hoping Brandon was going to be here tonight. I'm like, he's going to remember that. How many times did we have to lift up those miniatures to tell them apart?
Oh,
It was frustrating. And then even on top of that, there were times where like the information on the board where you're trying to tell like which side you want to vote for are blocked by the miniatures, and you don't want to give away which side you're actually voting for, but vital information on that board is blocked. I remember getting frustrated about that.
yeah.
Uh, but hey, Ivy Studios does make it right, and it is a really good game. I really enjoyed my play of that. But unfortunately, those metal miniatures in the first edition missed the
Well, I
mark.
haven't played Maglev Metro. I'd love to, but yeah. I have heard about that. And then globetrotting. Okay, so Pablo, what's the problem with the globetrotting? I don't know
Yeah, Dyer,
globetrotting.
Our only play at that Field Fate was at QSCon. But yeah, I was hoping Brandon would be in here and remember that.
But I'd be interested from Pablo. I don't know globetrotting, so yeah. What was the thing? Uh, you know what? You know what game had components that everybody loves that I just think is kind of ugly. And I didn't love the game either, but I do think it's kind of ugly. And that's Cascadia.
Huh. I
I
think
just
it
find
looks good. What don't you like about that?
I don't know. No, I haven't looked at it in a minute, but I just felt like the tokens felt very basic. Maybe I'm wrong because you're laying down those tiles, right? You're laying down the tiles with the different animals on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt very, but I could be wrong. I might be misremembering, to quote baseball players in front of Congress.
Yeah, Brandon, you're right. I literally
Yeah,
felt like colorblind while we were playing Field Fate. I'm like, oh
no
god, I feel
doubt,
for
dude.
Bob now.
No doubt. And the first time I had that experience was playing Red Rising, and we're just like, what is happening? And I felt so bad because we were so excited. Bob had his Kickstarter copy, and we cracked that bad boy open, and we were just like, you've got to be kidding me. Um,
Oh god, I just out of curiosity, you asked him about it. So I
yeah.
pulled up the game and I'm just flipping through photos. The art on these photos is hideous. What is this? Is this like the Sims 1996 edition? What is this? Uh, I don't know. I was just
Yeah, I don't love the art style chosen for the people.
okay. I was wondering if it was the globe because it was one of the first photos on here. It did look a bit chintzy. This thing, yeah, yeah, looks a bit chintzy.
Or it could be cool, though.
Oh, yeah, I hate when you assemble stuff and it doesn't go back in the box.
No,
I'm
I
not reassembling it every time.
Well, and my fear is that those things are going to break eventually, right? By taking them apart, putting them back together, taking them apart, putting them back together. Like, no, I don't want to do that. Not even out of laziness. I just don't want it to break because you just there's wear and tear on that stuff, right? Um,
Yes. Eventually, yeah, it's just cardboard. It's not gonna hold up forever. See
yeah.
you, David. Thanks for watching.
Later, man.
Yeah, like your heroes of land, air, and sea. I know obviously you just kind of figured out a storage solution to where you don't have to change everything up every time you play it.
Nope. Now I do
Yeah,
have to go on a hunt for all the parts, but I don't care.
yeah.
I'd rather do that than disassemble, reassemble, all that stuff.
No, I am not into reassembling my games every damn time. Not at all. Good list, Tim. It's fun to, we always say we're not a channel that likes to harp on negativity because that's not fun. There's plenty of negativity in the world. Why bring it into board games? Because it's a hobby we do to escape that stuff. But it is fun to rant about them sometimes. And I just love that we were able to do it about games that we actually like. It was a very, very creative list tonight. Oh no, Tim froze up. Uh, oh, there he goes. There he is. Did you catch that?
But what'd you say? Good list? I heard good
Uh,
list.
yeah, good list. We always say we don't like to get too negative on our channel because there's enough of that in the world and we play board games to escape that. So like why invite that onto our channel? But what's fun is that we're able to do some rants on games, which is fun sometimes, about
Mm-hmm.
games we actually like. So I really appreciate the pick tonight. It was a really good topic.
Yeah, well, I just like let's take that unique approach, right? And like you said, there's enough negativity out there, so let's rant about some games that we genuinely love, and like to play. And I don't think anybody was like, "No, you're wrong. Those look great," or you know, "How dare you? Terraforming Mars was pristine and nothing bad ever happened." You know what I mean? Like, we weren't really like, you know, the hot takes, weren't that shocking. Yeah.
Yeah. And
but
sometimes you just gotta build up your argument just for the sake of the show.
hell yeah.
I don't
I
feel that strongly about the Marrakesh egregiances here. I just,
yeah. I mean, I
fun to
thought
rant about.
I did really strongly consider finding like just picking all games with only amazing components. Just being like, this is overproduced. You don't even need this. But I was like, no, I've got enough like real games to talk about that I was like, I'm not gonna be cheeky with my list. I'll go real with the list.
Yeah. Yeah, Trevor's right. You don't even need the wash on those
Yeah.
buildings. Come on.
Yeah. So what's going on? I just hate those tokens, those trade tokens. They're
Yeah.
terrible components. They ruined the
The
game for me.
setups the setup's way too fast.
Yeah. If I'm not spending 30 minutes setting up my Roman Empire, then I don't want to. But no, fun list. I know Bob already signed off, but I'm glad he's getting some rest so that way he can be back up and ready to go. Um, and then we will, we're going to have some guests coming up in the next couple of weeks. And when we don't have guests, we'll be knocking out our top 50 outside the 50. That'll sort of be our default topic when we have the regular crew. But we're going to have some guests coming up in the next few weeks. Really excited about that. We need to actually get back with Andrew, who was in here earlier. We got to get him back on the show real soon. He's way overdue. Best components, best table presents, like gifts.
Top 50 is rolling out. 50 to 41 was yesterday. Tomorrow is 40 to 31. And then the rest of it will be rolling out. We're going to be 2 of those a week. So it'll take us a few weeks to get through all those. Stay tuned for Whiskey Wednesday for us to do 100 through 51. We'll do those in separate weeks. Sam Barmettler, designer of
Button
Button
Kingdoms.
Kingdoms, last week of January. And as Wayne in the chat here knows, we'll be having the Beans and Dice podcast on here. Hopefully within the next few weeks, we'll get that figured out. Now Trevor's intentionally doing games with amazing components. I love it.
He spoke at me. He spoke at me. Make him stop.
My number 2 is Rising Sun. Those miniatures are way too big.
Yeah. Oh, Brandon, I do have that version of Can't Stop, and we've had a few close calls as far as somebody like rolling onto the board. But for the most part, it's better to have I would rather have the game with the version that I don't necessarily like. It's not my ideal version, but I still get to have the game. I get to play it. So like, let's rock and roll. Great time. Dave, always good to see you. You and Di are always a pleasure. Even though you're Mets fans.
Man, this randomly thought of a topic. Games that have way too much downtime.
Oh.
Can't Stop would be one of mine. Like, as simple as that game is, you're literally just watching other people play for 10 minutes if you play a 4-player game. It's perfect for BGA. And I'd like the game more if I wasn't sitting around watching other people roll forever.
Fair.
Games with too much downtime.
Yeah, I definitely that is a thing that will kill a game for me very quickly. Very quickly.
Yeah.
That's funny, Andrew. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It just depends on the game and my personal investment and like the crowd, like the people I'm with.
Yeah.
So, but all right, Mike. Well, this has been a great list. I mean, the chat is always great, but like the chat was above and beyond tonight. Not gonna lie, chat was bringing it. So it was really good. And I missed being gone last week, so it's really good to be back this week. Everybody, keep me in your thoughts tomorrow as Notre Dame plays Penn State, and as I will be yelling and screaming at my TV, good and bad, nonstop. So, But yeah, man. The only bad thing about the chat is I see all these names of all these people that I genuinely really like and care about, and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to get to see them for a little bit, like because it's kind of
Right.
that downtime of convention season. I'm gonna try really hard to get over to Gamma for a couple of days, even if it's just like 2 days. Get over to Gamma for like 2 days. I'm gonna get to see a bunch of people. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean,
Probably just
otherwise
gonna
it's gonna be
be
a minute.
probably just gonna be Tim at Gamma. We got work schedules, but if you're going, reach out to Tim.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to
Uh,
get there and I'll let you know. I'll let you know. And
um,
Andrew, the Buckeyes are terrifying. I'm really hoping Texas beats them so that if Notre Dame does go to the national championship, we've actually got a chance. Because the way the
they
Buckeyes have
are
been playing, nobody's going to touch them.
they are
Um,
clicking at the right time. They're a little scary.
they're very scary. They're very scary. And yes, Andrew, if I am there, correct, correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, based on
Man,
chits.
I almost just want to go down there for like that weekend and come back.
Just go down Sunday and then come back Sunday night.
It's honestly tempting.
So Chris, I'm what I'm supposed to do is lay out basically all the conventions I'm going to try to get to, and then sort of negotiate that with my wife, and then figure out which ones I can make it, which ones I can't.
Yeah.
So Origins is on the list, but if I've got to cut it to make it to QSCon or something else, that might happen. Um, and Andrew, you know I want to play your prototypes, dude.
Of course. Andrew, do you even see that right above my head there? Do you see the pre-production copy? I still carry this thing around, even though I backed it. I can't like quit on Wine Cellar. I can't wait to play it again.
I just can't quit you.
I know. Um, oh, I was gonna throw out there. Yeah, my convention schedule is gonna get a little tricky this year. I hadn't confirmed it before. This is not my OnlyFans studio. I now do have a girlfriend, so there you go. That's where I film here. And I like her enough that I want to go on trips with her. So I'm gonna
Ugh,
sacrifice.
gross.
I'm gonna
Sorry.
sacrifice. You know how it goes. You got to compromise. Sacrifice a little bit of my convention off time to do some of that stuff. But I'll still be at Origins. I'll still be at Gen Con. I'll still be at Grand Con for sure.
Yeah.
And so figuring out what else I can squeeze in there is going to be the trick.
And we'll be at PoppyCon and
PoppyCon. Yep.
yeah. Yeah. No,
There you
I
go.
mean, it is what it
I
is.
know.
Life gets in the way, right? Yeah. So good. Um, but no, it's good. It's cool, man. It's cool. And but yeah, always a great time, Mike. Great list. Thanks for rolling with it. I threw this suggestion out. Uh
Great suggestion.
it was like it could be fun. And I could come up with a list for anything, so it would have been fine, whatever we had done.
Oh
But
yeah, always.
can't wait to have Bobby back and we can get in there too. And oh yeah, Andrew, she I will say I got to meet Mike's girlfriend a few weeks ago, and she plays board games. She's mean in a good way. Like we played Thunder Road, the Carnival of Chaos, and she was not bashful about attacking and all that stuff. So mad respect for that. And then did we play cockroach poker after that too?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's mean and a liar. So it's great. She's perfect for
Oh
you.
yeah. Doesn't pull any punches. Doesn't have a ton of exposure, but she's smart, so she learns fast.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Chris, good to see you, man. I can't wait till we get to hang out and play games.
Hit up Bob about PoppyCon.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah. PoppyCon for sure. That'd be awesome if
yeah.
Chris came up for that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. So that's it. You won't hear me saying this a whole lot longer. Go Notre Dame.
yes,
Um, and I have another week before I get to say go Lions, since they got to buy and all that. But go
they earned
Lions.
it. They
I
earned it. They need it,
definitely,
man. They need it.
I do. We're in an area where you're either a Colts fan, a Bears fan, or a Lions fan. I'd love to see my Lions fan friends see their team get some success. They've earned it. They are diehard fans.
As a Bears fan, the Lions are the only other team in the division I can pull for, and yeah, And frankly, like they are just playing a brand of football that I love. Like it's so much fun to watch them.
Oh, ooh, good question, Pablo. She
Yes,
prefers to attack me.
no
So
doubt,
she's one of those. She comes
no
for me
doubt,
first.
no
I got to
doubt,
beat her before she starts beating on me.
no doubt. She also laughed really hard when we started picking on Mike. It was really good.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, fair.
yeah, Andrew,
Uh,
also true. No such thing as a bandwagon Lion fan until last year.
Fair. I'm not mad about being a bandwagon Lion fan right now.
Listen, like I said, I'm not a Bears fan. I got what's Notre Dame's done. I got nothing, until Notre Dame next year. So or in August, so. But anyways, it's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh
Great
yeah.
show, super fun, awesome chat. You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for all of the comments. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up on the way out. We really appreciate it. Share us with your friends. Alienate your loved ones by talking to them
Mhm,
about us,
mhm.
and all those things. But y'all are the best. And for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
That was Mike.
Go Irish! Beat Penn State. We'll see you next time.
I agree. It's crazy. Go Irish.
We'll see you guys.
Good
next
job,
time.
Stonemeyer.
A 7.3 repeating. Heating. Heating.